Beware.
My Time at Ravenswood Sanitarium by babygirl54bg. I'll never forget the day I started working at the abandoned insane asylum. The hospital, once known as Ravenswood Sanitarium, had been closed for decades, but the rumors of its dark past and unexplained occurrences kept me from being able to sleep at night. As I walked through the crumbling hallways, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every creak of the floorboards, every groan of the old wooden beams made me jump. I knew that I had to be careful, that this place was not for the faint of heart. Just as I was about to start my first day of work, I stumbled upon a dusty old journal belonging to a previous worker, a man named Dr. Jenkins. As I flipped through the pages, I came across a notebook with a bunch of rules that he had written for himself before working at Ravenswood. The rules were meant to protect him from the supernatural forces that lurked in the shadows, but they only added to my growing sense of unease. Here is what the notebook had written inside. Number 1. Always carry a crucifix with you. Number 2. Never venture alone into the basement or attic. Number 3. Avoid mirrors at all costs. Number 4. Do not make eye contact with any patients who may still be living. Number 5. Keep your radio on at all times. Number 6. Never stay in one room for too long. Number 7. Always wear gloves when handling patient records. Number 8. Never drink water from the hospital's fountain. Number 9. Be cautious when entering patient rooms. Number 10. Keep your back to the door when entering rooms. Number 11. Do not disturb any patient's belongings. Number 12. Avoid talking about the hospital's past or its patients. Number 13. Never stay in the hospital after dark. Number 14. Keep your eyes open at all times. Number 15. Never go into any room that has a padlock on the door. Number 16. Avoid talking to any patients who may be acting strangely. Number 17. Keep your emotions in check. Number 18. Never take anything from a patient's room. Number 19. Always check for hidden doors or secret passages. And number 20. Never leave a patient alone in their room. As I began my work at Ravenswood, I found it difficult to follow these rules, especially when I was alone in the hospital at night. But I knew that I had to be careful, that this place was full of secrets and surprises. One night, as I was making my way back to my car, I heard a strange noise coming from the basement. It sounded like someone was crying, and it was getting louder and louder. I knew that I had to investigate, but something told me to stay away. I hesitated for a moment, but then I heard my name being called out, loud and clear. It was a woman's voice, and it was calling out for help. I knew that I had to go down there and see what was happening. As I made my way down to the basement, I could feel the air growing colder and colder. It was like nothing I had ever experienced before. The walls seemed to be closing in around me, and I could feel a presence watching me from just out of sight. When I finally reached the bottom of the stairs, I saw a woman standing in front of me. She was dressed in old-fashioned clothing, and her eyes were black as coal. She looked like she had been dead for years. "Please," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You have to help me." I didn't know what to do, so I just stood there frozen in fear. The woman reached out her hand and touched my face, and suddenly everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the floor in front of the stairs. The woman was nowhere to be seen, but I could hear her crying in the distance. I knew that I had to get out of there as fast as possible, so I started making my way back up to the main floor. But as I reached the top of the stairs, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The woman was standing right behind me, her eyes still black as coal. "Please," she said again, her voice still barely above a whisper. "You have to help me." This time, however, her voice was different. It was filled with a sense of desperation and urgency. And then it hit me. She wasn't asking me for help because she needed it. She was asking me for help because she couldn't get out. The woman reached out and grabbed my arm, pulling me back down into the darkness. I knew that I had to fight back if I wanted to survive this night alive. But as we descended deeper into the darkness, something told me that it might already be too late. I never made it back out of those haunted halls alive. But if you ever find yourself working at Ravenswood Sanitarium, make sure you follow Dr. Jenkins' rules. You never know what might happen if you don't. I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the special friends of the channel for your overwhelming generosity. If you would like to support the channel, the link is below in the description. Also, please send me your stories and poems to duchessofdarkness27@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at duchess.ofdarkness and Twitter at duchessofdark_n2. I want to thank all my listeners for your kindness, your encouragement, and your support. It means the world to me. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.